Welcome to section 9.2. This is the 71st session of the CISSP exam prep series. In this session, we'll sort out where data lives and whose rules govern it. We'll answer several questions. What is data localization? What is data sovereignty? How do these two ideas actually differ? Why does one sit inside the other? And what is data portability? And how does it fit? Why does this matter beyond the exam? Because the moment your data crosses a border, a second country's laws may reach it. Picture a streaming startup that signs its first wave of subscribers across 3 continents. Suddenly, it faces rules about where those records must physically sit and which government can demand a look. On the job, you are the one who translates those legal constraints into storage architecture. Get it wrong, and the fines and the shutdown orders land on your desk. So what is data localization? It is the requirement to keep data physically inside a specific country or region. Regulations often demand that sensitive or personal records stay within the borders where they were created or where the person they describe lives. This can block cross-border transfers outright and force you to redesign where your storage and processing physically sit. Think of a rule that says a country's tax files must never leave its soil. The paperwork stays in the building, no matter how convenient it would be to ship elsewhere. What is data sovereignty? It is the principle that data falls under the laws of the place where it lives or was created. A government claims authority over information collected inside its borders, and you must comply with its local privacy and protection laws. It reaches past mere storage to cover legal jurisdiction and control over how the data is handled. Think of a diplomatic pouch that lands in a foreign airport. The instant it touches that ground, the local legal system has a claim on what happens next. How do these two ideas actually differ? They overlap, but they aim at different targets. Localization is narrow. Its focus is the physical location of storage and processing, driven by specific laws that say the servers must sit inside a given border. Sovereignty is broad. It covers legal jurisdiction, regulatory compliance, and the overarching authority a government holds, shaped by legal, political, and cultural forces. So localization mostly forces you to build data centers in the right place, while sovereignty reshapes your whole approach to governance, compliance, and how you deal with outside vendors. Think of parking rules versus the full traffic code. Where you may park is one narrow rule inside the much larger body of law that governs the road. Why does one sit inside the other? Because localization is really a subset of sovereignty. Localization answers just one question: where the data physically rests. Sovereignty wraps around that and adds jurisdiction, governance, and legal compliance across the whole geopolitical boundary. Both push in the same direction. They force your data practices to line up with local law. Think of a single gear inside a larger machine. The small gear does one job, but it only makes sense as part of the bigger mechanism turning around it. What is data portability, and how does it fit? It is the right of people to move their personal data easily and securely from one service to another. It lets a user carry their records between platforms, which hands them control and keeps providers competing for their business. It usually rides alongside privacy and data protection rules that lift up individual rights. Think of keeping your phone number when you switch carriers. The number is yours to take, so no single provider can hold you hostage. So let's bring it together. Data localization pins your data to a physical place inside a border. Data sovereignty says whichever country holds the data also holds legal authority over it. They differ in focus and scope, and localization is really a narrow subset of the broader sovereignty picture. Both demand that your storage and handling match local law. And data portability rounds it out by giving people the right to carry their own records between services. Map these to your architecture early, and the legal geography stops being a surprise. The MCQs covering all the topics and concepts from this session are available on RooCloud.com. Practice the chapter-specific MCQs before moving on to the next session. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, post a comment below or email us. I will see you in the next session.